Listeners, welcome back to the OTG podcast. We are your hosts, OTG Daryl, OTG Phil, in the house. Who does that? I think it's Joe Menzel.
Oh, that's right.
I love that guy.
I haven't listened to Massive Joe stuff in a long time. But
Australian guy. Look him up. He's a professional bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's a business owner. He's a great guy. Not that I've ever met him. I just love his content.
Maybe we should go to Australia.
Yeah. We should go to Australia. Let's all go to Australia.
Sean, you down?
Yeah, I'm down for all
Sean,
that.
dude, we would have to have content. I mean, you can't just go to Australia and not record it, right?
Yeah.
How do people that live in Australia not record everything they do?
I don't know.
I mean, they got like safari animals just running around everywhere.
I've heard Australia is like real life Pokemon.
Yeah, dude. There's stuff. Dude, they got.
When I was a little kid, I always wondered what it would be like if Pokemon were real.
Oh, really? Well, I'm sure. I think everybody kind of.
I'm sure everybody does.
Or at least wished that they were real.
Right. Yeah, at some point or another.
Yeah.
But
you know what? God said no.
it's unfortunate, man.
Good thing, man.
You think
have y'all seen the movies? Like, those things are way too strong.
Oh, yeah. They'll be killing everybody.
It's like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Look. There's no mystery why God took out all the dinosaurs before we were born. They would have just destroyed us. They'd have ravaged us.
I guess that's fair.
I
don't know. I think we should try to put we should try to put in a word to get
Get the Pokemon back?
Yeah, get some Pokemon.
I'll write that. I gotta take a note real quick.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean,
Real, please, question mark. Well, today, on today's show, today's second show of the day, but don't tell anybody. We're going to release them on different dates. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about the importance of and learning how to say no and why it matters. With that said,
I feel like you should go.
was that the wrong intro?
I feel like it should be the imagination.
Imagine a world where you learned how to say no to things that you didn't want to do. And you hit the thing, right? Yeah. Oh.
There it is.
We're still playing with this, y'all. You'll get used to it. We'll get used to it.
Or like the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So we got Sean in the house again, still. It's a good thing. We love having him. He's great. We're going to do a series called Sean Gets Shredded soon. He just doesn't know it.
No, he knows it. I told him about it.
Sean, you're getting shredded. Sean's going to get shredded. I mean, he's already pretty lean.
Yeah.
Now we just got to shred him out, baby. Get them lines in there. All right, y'all. Learn how to say no in your lives. That's what we're talking about today. This is something that weighs on me heavily, especially as somebody who is I would consider myself to be a recovered or recovering, not a yes man necessarily, but somebody who had a hard time saying no to things that I didn't necessarily want to do because I felt obligated or pressured.
Like social pressure?
A little bit of that. Yeah. I guess it was mostly social pressure.
Yeah.
Or maybe that I owed somebody something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it was really rooted in, but there was a point in my life where I had a hard time saying no, and it's across a broad spectrum of things. Whether it was going out on days when I didn't really want to feel like going out and drinking, but everybody was going. I didn't want to be that guy. I said no. Whether I was on a diet and we went to some type of event and they're like, oh, hey, we got food, and kind of everybody was eating, and I don't want to be the odd man out and not eat. There's just a lot of different occasions where I either didn't want to do something or it didn't coincide with what my goals were.
Right.
And I did it anyway because I didn't want to say no.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with, you've heard of herd mentality.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of that.
Group think, I guess.
Yeah, group think, herd mentality. Yeah, definitely the same thing. Mm-hmm. And that is very much in our psychology or in our nature.
Kind of primitive.
It's human nature to want to be a part of the thing that's going on,
well,
right?
That's rooted in, I've read some literature on this. Mm-hmm. That's rooted in, because, in ancient societies, if you didn't have a group of humans, you would die more likely than not.
You had to fit in with
kind of
everyone.
Where tribes were not invented, right? They came to be because a group of humans in primitive times were much more successful and long lasting than one man out trying to hunt and live by himself back in those days. And then, over the years, cities form and countries form and so forth. But go ahead though. Like groupthink.
You just don't want to be the odd man out. Nobody likes feeling like they're being singled out.
Yeah.
So if you become a part of whatever is going on, then you fit in, you know what I mean? And, I've never really had an issue with that, to be honest. I'm not real sure why. I think it's just because I'm very much, I like to be by myself. I have fun on my own. I am very much independent.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of my upbringing. I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot about psychology and stuff like that. I do think about a lot of different things, but like my personal situation, growing up with a single mom. So I was used to no siblings, right? Used to being by myself, my mom would go to work or whatever it was. And then obviously, my mom died when I was young. So I was left alone a lot, not to say there wasn't, I had my grandparents, so I wasn't actually alone. But the point is I got very comfortable by myself. Yeah. And so what other people think of me doesn't really matter a whole lot. I mean, I'd be lying if I said it didn't matter at all. That's for sure.
Everybody cares a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely care, and it gets to me sometimes, but I do really well on my own.
Yeah.
And I think that the other thing that helps me out is I have, and this is probably just as negative as it is positive, but it works for me. A mentality that I have is it sounds really bad, so forgive me if it sounds like kind of shitty or something.
It sounds great.
I don't mind knowing that I'm the better person in the decision-making process.
Okay. Like your decision for you is better.
It's better. That I'm making a better decision than you are. And I'm and that sounds
for you.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody else, your decision for them may not be the better decision.
Right.
And that's okay too. But for you, making your own decision, the one that you're making that maybe doesn't go along with what other people are doing, is better for you.
That's right.
And you're okay with that.
And I'm okay with it. Like,
that you're okay with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. And let's use alcohol as an example. Mm-hmm. I don't drink.
Yeah.
Very much at all. Like, I mean, I would say in the past couple years, I can count on one hand. And it's bad for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of an all in or nothing kind of person.
Yeah.
I very much often, when people ask me, hey, you want to hang out and have a margarita? I'd love to.
Yeah.
But that's bad for me.
Right.
Because one, doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I'm going to have a bunch.
I'm going to have a few, and then I'm going to do it next weekend, and I'm going to do it next weekend. So it's a lot better for me just to say no. And the mentality that I have in my head is that by saying no to this thing, it's going to help my future.
Right.
And that's just a mentality that has worked for me. And I'm just using alcohol as an example.
That's just one of millions.
I think it's a good one.
Right.
There's other things where I have more of a problem saying no to.
Right.
A problem where
some froyo.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've talked about this before. About once a week, usually I do eat kind of whatever I want, and I'll kind of fit it into that usually. But a place where I have a hard time saying no, maybe we can talk about this because you do real estate, right? So you probably have to say no. And I've heard real estate guys talk about this. They say you have to say no to 100 deals before you say yes to one good one.
Absolutely.
Right? So maybe you can have some insight in this. A problem where I have saying no is to like business opportunities. If somebody asks me something and I play the scenario in my head that it could like make money or something like that, I'm like, ooh, I got to find a way to be a part of this thing.
Right.
And I have a hard time just saying no, because I know for sure, now that us sitting here thinking about it, I know that the best thing I can do is focus on Only the Greatest and OTG Fitness. If I do that and put all of my effort into that will probably be my number one pathway to success. Right. I understand that. But when anybody starts talking about something else, I'm like, ooh, how can I be a part of that thing?
Yeah, because you're excited about it. Yeah. You think that you can contribute. You think it'll work.
Yeah, I feel like I have some contribution.
Right.
Right, and that I could do that, because I'm pretty confident.
Help them grow it.
Yeah, that I can do this thing or whatever. So that's a problem where I have a problem saying no. And then I'll spend hours thinking about it. Oh, man, this thing.
Yeah.
and I'll just keep thinking about it. Now it's taken away, and this is probably the point of this whole thing. And if you guys didn't know this, I had no clue about this topic or anything. Daryl just kind of told me, and now we're talking about it. But I'll spend hours, and it'll take away. And this is probably what I was saying is, this is probably what you were getting at. Why it's so important to say no is because if I would just say no, then I could keep focusing on OTG.
Absolutely.
But because I even consider it, now I'm spending hours and hours, a ton of my mental capacity on this other thing that I'm probably never even going to do anyways.
Right.
But it's taken me away from my main goal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just kind of, that's what came to my head when you're talking about I need to say no faster. In situations like
something
that.
Else we were.
I'll eventually get to saying no because I know that I have this other thing.
Right.
But I consider it for a long time before I actually say no, and it's taken away from.
There's quite a bit to discuss or to quote unpack with all this, but first and foremost, don't say no just to be an antagonist. Don't say no just because you're like, oh, I'm the type of person that says no. No, I'm not doing that.
Right.
I don't think that's any way to be either. But I think that the world, in a lot of different ways, society in general, has a really hard time saying no to things that they don't want to do. And for me, it was more of like a social pressure generally when I had this problem. But I think that the main thing going on in society is people take it as confrontational in a way, and they don't want to be confrontational. They're kind of scared of confrontation. That's a little bit uncomfortable. So they just do the thing that they don't really want to do as to not upset somebody else. And I'm here to tell you, there's nothing confrontational about saying no. This is just one example. Hey man, you want to come out and grab some drinks on Saturday night? Hey, no, thanks. That's just not, I'm just not into that. That doesn't, this is me. That doesn't really coincide with the goals that I'm trying to reach right now. I don't really want to do that. That's not to me, that's not confrontational. That's not being rude. That's being honest. That's being real. And that's being true to myself. And that's me building my own self-confidence. And it's helping me reach my own personal goals. Now, there are times when I will say yes to that because I do occasionally enjoy that, right? But that's not going to be my decision all the time. So be clear and concise with your decisions, and don't be afraid to say no, especially out of the fear that it's confrontational.
Right.
I just, even if they take it that way, that's not on you. That's on them.
Right.
It's on the person that you told no for taking it as they took it the wrong way. Now, I mean, I guess you could be confrontational about it. Be like, hey, no, screw you. I hate that. Don't ever talk to me again.
Right.
That's confrontational. I'm just saying, and this is nuance too. A lot of times people will, and this for the same reason, they don't want to be confrontational. They will say no, but they'll make up an excuse or a reason that's not true. If there's a real excuse, like you actually have something to do.
Well, if it's real, it's not an excuse. It's a legitimate
Right.
reason.
Then it's not an excuse, right? So, hey, you want to go out tonight and have drinks? Oh, hey, no, I have these other plans. If you really do,
that's fine.
That's fine. You tell them, hey, I got the other plans. But I think that it is very important that you can it's very important that you can say no. And I think there's even more power in saying no without an explanation. Hey, no, thanks. And that's it. Leave it at that. And I think that there's something else to be said for offering the absolute truth. Hey, no, thanks. Going out and having drinks on Saturday doesn't coincide with my weight loss goals and you don't have to be all technical like this. Hey man, that's just not, I'm going for this weight loss goal right now. I'm trying to lose 20 pounds by this date. And if I go out and drink tonight, it's going to mess that up. So I'm not going to do that.
I think that's the better route to go. Because if you just say no with no explanation, then I could be understanding of someone taking that as a little rude.
Well, no, don't just say, text him back. No.
Yeah.
Hey, no, thanks. I appreciate the invite though.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, hey, no, thanks. I don't really want to do that tonight.
Right.
I think that's truthful too. I don't want to do that because I want to stay on track with my fitness goals.
Right.
You know, hey, I appreciate the business proposition, but I know that it's better for me and only the greatest as a brand if I say no to that so that I can focus on my brand. I do appreciate you, man, but it just doesn't coincide with the goals that I have right now.
Right.
You know, maybe we can talk about it again later. Hey, no, thanks. I appreciate the offer, but that's not for me right now.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I really would invest with you, but you know, there's this bill that I didn't know about that popped up, and I don't really have the extra money right now, brother. Otherwise, I would. That's bullshit.
That's just not true.
Unless it could be true. But like, if you really were going to invest with them and you really did have a bill pop up, I guess you could tell them that. But yeah, man, you need to. The world would be a better place if, one, people learned how to say no, and the people that they said no to didn't take it as a confrontational, as offensive. Me, I'm at a point now in my life where somebody tells me no. I don't have any issues with that. I'm not upset at them. And I don't think I ever really was. But I'm not going to be like, Phil, don't stick in the mud, doesn't want to come out on Saturday night. Screw him. That's not who I am.
I've dealt with that as much as anyone.
You certainly have. There's been times where I've tried to pressure you into coming out, but I didn't say those things, you know. I didn't take offense to it. I did try to pressure you into it. But I wasn't like, Phil's offending me or Phil's being confrontational with me because he told me no. But the people that are saying no and the people that are getting told no both need to take it as, look, you asked a question, the answer is no, period.
That's it.
And it can be very, very beneficial. I want to reiterate, I want to say it again. Don't say no just to be an antagonist if it is something that you want to go do. If it's Saturday, which it is Saturday right now, and one of my friends calls me up and they want to go have some dinner or some drinks or whatever, and it's something that I do want to go do, I'll go. Hey, man, yeah, that sounds great. I'll go. You know, but if it's not something that I want to go do, I'm not going to go do that just because I got invited to please them so that they don't think that I'm being confrontational or that I don't want to hang out with them. You know, that's who I am at this point, you know, and I think that it's very beneficial in a lot of ways. It helps you reach goals. It helps you, it helps you reach your goals. It helps others get a grasp of who you are and what you're into and what you're not into. But most importantly, it builds your self-confidence.
I was going to say that. I didn't know that it was your third point, but that's what I was about to say. It reassures your own identity of who you are.
Of who you are.
Yeah, don't give in.
Being true to yourself.
That's right. Be true to yourself. Don't give in to what someone else wants you to do.
Yep.
Because then you're going to wake up tomorrow and be like, man, I wasn't myself yesterday.
I wasn't myself.
Now you're misaligned with your identity, which is what causes you to feel bad.
Yeah.
Right. And not to be able to follow through with the next thing.
Instead of a deposit into that self-confidence bank account, you took a big withdrawal.
Yeah, that's right.
And then eventually you dwindle those down until there's nothing left in there. You don't have any self-confidence. Then that could turn into a big snowball of issues for you. If you have no self-confidence, then you don't believe the things that you promised yourself. Then, you know, it's real easy to eat off diet, not train, go drink, spend money that you don't want to spend, get involved in business deals that you don't want to be involved in, and so forth, right? The list goes on. Maybe even be in a relationship that you don't want to be in that's not making you happy, that's not contributing to you. That's a big one.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot.
I personally know many people, past and present, that are in relationships that they don't necessarily want to be in. And some of them have even told me that. But instead of being confrontational,
they just let it ride.
Confrontational is in quotes. I don't think there's anything confrontational about saying, hey, I know that I'm not saying it's easy.
Right.
I'm just saying it's not confrontational or rude or anything to say, hey, this relationship, well, it could be a romantic relationship.
Yeah, but it can be a friend,
a friendship,
or
a business
partner.
relationship.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It could be, like I said, romantic, friend, business. coworker, whoever, hey, this, whatever it is thing that we have, it's not good for me. And I no longer want to participate in it. You don't have to say it just like that, but and you can say for these reasons, because it doesn't align with my goals. I feel like, the effort's one-sided, blah, 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 whatever it is. Right. But it spills into almost every part of your life, man. It's
that self-confidence bank.
Yeah. That self-confidence bank account that spills in that almost everything that you do, who you believe you are as an individual, is kind of rooted in that. And, if you're not true to yourself, if you're doing things that you don't really want to do for the sake of other people or for the sake of not being confrontational, you're going to end up with some big problems. That's been a problem in my life in the past. That no longer is for the past several years. Daryl says no when I want to say no. When it's not something that I'm into, I will say no. If it's something that I want to go do, I will say yes. Now, unless I have there's another commitment, right? And I say, hey, if I tell you I really would like to go do that, but I have this thing, it's true.
It's true.
Now it is. In the past, it wasn't. I might make up something. Oh, hey, I got this other thing, or hey, insert excuse, right? Now, if you invite me somewhere and I'm like, man, I really would like to go. I do appreciate the invite, but I have this thing. There is really that thing.
Right.
That's how it is now. Or I'll likely just tell you, hey, no thanks, appreciate the invite. Maybe next time, because maybe next time I will want to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't hesitate to ask me again in the future.
Right.
Right.
And I actually was having a conversation with another really good friend of mine today, and I'm not going to say his name or anything. He was telling me about a recent conversation that he had with another friend of his. And essentially it was, hey, no, I don't want to do that. And also, I don't want to put words in his mouth, and I don't want to.
You want to paraphrase correctly?
Yeah, I want to paraphrase correctly. Basically, hey, no, I don't want to do that. And in the future, I don't want to do that. So don't.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't ask me to do that.
If that's how you feel.
And if we can't be friends because of that, that's okay. That's pretty much how it went down. Paraphrased.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, man. I don't think that.
Not if it's actually how you feel.
Right. If it's actually how you feel.
Yeah.
He wasn't rude about it. He didn't tell the guy to go F himself or tell him, hey, next time you see me, we're fighting or anything like that. He was just like, hey, man, no, hey, that doesn't work for me. I don't like that. These are the issues that I have. Don't hit me up with that ever again. And if that doesn't work for you, then cool. This friendship doesn't work for me, And I think that that's okay if that's how you feel.
Yeah, as long as it's honest.
Yeah, and the approach is everything. If you approach things the right way, I like to describe myself as the type of person that, if approached the right way, I'll do anything for you, man. But if you don't approach me the right way, I'm probably not going to help you out.
For sure won't.
Yeah, for sure won't help you out.
Yeah.
Then we're talking about helping people out. I'm just talking about have some tact, have some. Don't intentionally be a rude ass or be an antagonist just for the sake of doing that. But if you don't want to do something, say no, man. And that will help you reach your goals in life. It will deposit into your self-confidence bank account every single time.
Yep.
And when the times that you don't, you go against what you want to do, it will withdraw from that account. And this spills into all areas of your life. And it's I don't know, it's just one of the more important things that I've learned in adulthood, is that this is very vitally important. A lot of people don't take it seriously. A lot of people don't even realize that it's happening over and over and over again. They're just in this habitual state of people pleasing.
Yeah, and I think the one more thing I want to touch on, then we can wrap it up. And that's, you need to know what your end goal is.
Right.
If you don't know what the end goal is, then you are just trotting along through life. you have to know what it is that you're working towards.
You're wandering aimlessly.
That's
if you
right.
Don't have a goal.
To decide whether these things are good for you or not. Because if you don't have a goal, then whatever, then go do whatever. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
But if you do, then you know what you can say yes and no to.
Right.
So know what your goal is.
Right. And then you can tailor your answer based off that.
That's right.
Based off
and
that
if
goal.
you're ever curious, like, ooh, should I do this thing? We'll go assess your goals. Does this move me towards them or does it move me away from them?
Anytime. Now, a lot of times there's going to be no-brainers.
Right.
Hey, man, do you want to go do this thing? No. Hey, man, do you want to go do this thing? Sure, I'd like that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's ever any question, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, if I go do this, does it affect me reaching my goal in either way? And is it good or is it bad? Because there's going to be some things that are neutral, right? That don't necessarily affect the goal that you have. And then you can make a choice on whether you want to do it or not. But more times than not, it's going to either move you towards or away from your goal. I would say 85, 90% of the time. And then there's another 10, 15% where it doesn't really affect it, too much, right? But definitely, if there's any question, stop, take 5 seconds and ask yourself, if I go do this thing, is it going to move me toward my goal, away from my goal, or not affect my goal at all? And if the answer is away from your goal, the answer is no. If it's going to move you toward your goal, the answer should likely be yes. If it's neutral, well, that's a personal decision you're going to have to make.
Maybe it just depends how you feel that day.
It depends on how you feel that day. And I got one more thing before we actually close this thing out.
Okay.
And the people may ask, hey, Daryl, how did you work on that? How do you get better at that? There's only one way. Doing it. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in the entire world that's going to help you get better at saying no to things you don't want to do or don't move you towards your goal than actually doing it. That's it. Practice saying no. You just have to say no. Mm-hmm. That's all there is to it.
With clients at the gym, social pressure is one of the main reasons that we eat bad.
Yep.
So what I tell them, and this sounds really corny.
Karate chop people?
Well, after they karate chop them, what I tell them. Yeah. Actually, I make sure they do this before they karate chop.
Okay.
Because usually the karate chop's the end of the conversation.
Yeah, it's over after that.
You know what I mean? So now what I tell them though, because a lot of people struggle with telling their friends no to
absolutely
eating out.
I used to be that person.
And so actually what I tell them to do is to legitimately practice in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that thing.
Yeah.
Practice asking something else. Hey, instead of going to get margaritas, how about we
XYZ?
Yeah, go play a sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of going to brunch and having whatever you drinks at brunch. Mimosas. Yeah, thank you. Instead of going to have brunch, have mimosas, why don't we go to the beach and throw the frisbee or something? You know what I mean? It's still a fun activity.
It doesn't even have to be that big of a dichotomy. It doesn't have to be that big of a gap. Mm-hmm. Hey, we want to go to this restaurant. You know what? I don't mind going out, but how about this restaurant because I can make a better choice here.
Bingo. Yep. And I tell people, practice that. Like in the mirror, practice saying no and giving other examples.
It doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be rude.
Not at all.
Hey, no thanks. I do appreciate the invite. You can leave it at that.
And
maybe
also,
next time. Or you can say, hey, no thanks. I don't want to do that because it's not going to move me towards my goals. But maybe after we could link up and we could go.
There you go.
Have
an alternative.
For a walk, go for a disc golf, whatever it is, right? Go train, whatever you like, man, whatever you think.
Yeah. And sorry, I keep saying one more thing, but if aggression one more thing. If aggression is necessary.
Karate chop.
Well, yeah, before you karate chop, just understand. Maybe aggression is necessary. And I hate to say this.
I don't say aggression, but...
not aggression, but affirmative. No.
I think that...
I don't know what the word I'm looking for.
The word you're looking for. Persistence.
I think assertion could be.
Yeah, assertion. Assertion is a good word. Yeah,
good word, Sean. Assertion, persistence.
Yeah, but you have to let them... put your foot down.
Stand your ground.
Yeah, stand your ground.
Yeah.
Put your foot down. No. And if they keep giving you shit...
You just leave the situation. Exit the situation.
Yeah, what I would tell people, and don't take this the wrong way, is question the relationship.
Yeah.
Is this person really good for my life?
Right.
Should I really have this person in my life? Ask yourself that question. Yeah. If the answer is no, then maybe it's time.
Maybe it is time.
You know what I mean?
And
Because you
that,
shouldn't.
that was kind of one of those situations
Yeah.
I was describing earlier with my friend and the other guy. He was like, hey, it got to the point in the conversation where it was like, well, okay, if that's the case, then this isn't going to work for me.
Right.
And
obviously that's worst case scenario.
Most situations
But
aren't going to get there.
I've seen this a lot. You know, people keep wanting to pressure people.
Don't cave.
Yeah, don't give in.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground. And if they keep giving you a hard time, you should question that relationship.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
You know, because they're not looking out for your best interest.
Right. 1000%, dude.
Yeah.
Well, guys, the only way to get there, the only way to practice, the only way to gain ground in that area is to say no. And it doesn't have to be rude. It's not disrespectful. It's not confrontational. It's not being an antagonist. You just legitimately don't want to do it. And people are going to have to start accepting that.
Yeah.
And if you're ever questioning, ask yourself, does it move me towards my goal, away from my goal, or have no effect on my goal? And that's all there is to it, man.
Easy.
Learn how to say no, brother. That's it. That's all there is to it. I think it's very important. Since I have incorporated and done that in my life, I've made great strides in the right directions that I want to go in. That's all I have to say about it. What you got, Phil?
I think that's it. Assess your goals, write them down. If you ever question it, go look at them, ask yourself the question, and then answer.
This
yes
will
or
be
no.
huge deposits into the self-confidence bank account. All right, guys. Now go to the gym, train, eat right, get your sleep at night, drink your water, and do the right thing, man. That's all I got. So learn how to say no if you want to say no. We're out. Till the next time.